Hello folks, welcome back to the channel and to a new video here at Scale Hectic. Today we're going to be looking at another product from Racing Room Extra, a pit garage. Now if you didn't see the video I did before on their Armco, do check that out. It's a really good product. I'm really pleased with it. I've got it going in areas of my track and I've put it on more of it since I actually did that video, and I will eventually run it all the way around. There's a link in the description for the Armco and there will be one in there for this pit garage. Now, you're probably wondering, what do I want with a pit lane garage? Because I've already got the Goodwood set, which was here pretty much from the start of the channel. But what I'm thinking is that this would actually work quite well underneath the back straight there. And I'll probably be able to get some cars in there and I think that will look quite nice. So what we'll do is we'll get this opened up and we'll get it built today and get it on the track. Let's take a look. So again, we got some great packaging from them. Picking up in the box here, we've obviously got 132 scale, mentions that it's a pit garage and double-sided. Now I'll explain what that means when I get in there. We've got a half an hour sort of estimated build time, tells you the tools you need, glue and a blade, and then it gives you the dimensions, which I assume are of the garage. Now I don't know, I guess the height probably does include these bits on the top, but we'll find that out when we get in. So let's open it up. So presented with some pamphlets or cards with their business card and what have you on there, and then straight into the instructions, which will be fairly self-explanatory. Simple sort of box design. I guess these are the bits which probably can be either sided. I'm guessing probably you got brick on one side and another finish on the other side, but we'll find it out when we get in. It looks like we might have a track there, maybe for the door. Maybe the door can go up and down, but we'll find that out when we get in. Then I have this sort of card separating between the two. Oh, actually, in actual fact, I've just noticed they've got little push outs there for you to lift that up and pull that out. Quite nice. Okay, now inside we've got some plastic parts by the looks of it. That looks like our door, which is flexible, so that sort of does suggest that it can go up and over, which is nice, and we'll find out what those are. In here, the file that you would have seen in the Armco video, smaller version in this one, and then the actual parts themselves. Let's get the box out of the way and get this opened up. Okay, so we've got our various pieces here. Obviously some sides, outsides, base that looks like there, roof perhaps, quite nice to see a fire escape symbol on there. Nice diagrams really on the instructions, I quite like that. Keeps everything easy. Let's locate what those parts are. Okay, so that's obviously these. Punch that out. That's probably what you need a knife for actually, is just to cut those out because they're a little bit, you don't want to break anything basically. So I'm just picking out where the attachment points are and I'm just pushing the blade through those and they're breaking away really easily. There we go, there's one. You do want to be careful at this point because if you were to try and force that out, you run the risk of damaging that piece. It looks like that piece there is on sheet 3, side A, that one there. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and file these slight burrs off. They were the fixing points. Is all those done? So at this point you need to make the decision of what face you want showing on the inside of your garage. Whether you want just a painted wall showing or whether you want a brick wall showing, because that is what you're going to see on the inside of your garage. So I'm going to go for the brick wall. It took me a while to decide that, to be honest with you, but I am going to stick with brick wall, I think. So, as with the Armco, dab of glue. You obviously want to be trying to make sure that's square on there. You could use one of the other boards to make sure that is square, like so, and just allow your glue to set. Do you know what, that's not the easiest way to do that, thinking about it, and I don't actually know whether that really needs to be glued, that piece. What I'm going to do is get these pieces ready, because that will allow me to square the whole thing up, and it'll make things a lot easier. So I've got those two pieces ready now. So that's sort of the front piece there. Now you need to obviously decide again which side you want to be seen. That outside piece will actually be covered by a new piece that goes over the front. So it's actually the inside face that you're deciding on at this time, not the outside face. And again, the same with this one. So that will be your inside face that you're wanting to match. So what we're going to do now is glue all those bits together, and that should square us up nicely. Now what's probably a good idea to use at this stage is just a little bit of masking tape just to hold it while that glue dries, just to make life a little bit easier. And there we are, that's the main sort of core structure, I suppose, is all together. And the next stage on the instructions is the baseboard, which will then really help to lock it all in. So you've got another decision to make with the base, because you either have a tarmac type base or again a painted floor. I'm going to go with a black because that's what I've done with the rest of my layout, and I think that will set itself in there quite well. So I'm just going to get a bit of glue on this bottom edge in a few places, and then we'll put it on. That's it, just drops in, as simple as that. It's nice to see the groove there, or the slot there for your cars. When your car's parked in there, it's not sitting with the front end up in the air. So that is the core structure, and that's all your internal walls. What we're looking at now is the external walls. So I'll get them cut out. I've just realised though, is missing from the instructions is at what point to put the garage door in. And it would have been better to have put that in before I got to this stage, because now, as you can see, I can't actually easily get that in, I don't think. Just see if I can, I'm gonna have to prise it apart a bit, I think, to get that in. Oh, it does drop in. Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one, that, because you would struggle anyway to try and get that in at the same time as gluing everything else together, because it was a little bit fiddly at that point anyway. But I'm just trying to get this in there now. Yeah, it's in. It's fiddly, but it's in. I don't know if that... Do you know what? I think that's probably the only way you're getting that in there anyway. I think you'll really struggle even more so to get that in while you're trying to glue everything else together. So yeah, and it will... I'm going to give it some time, but that will go up and down. Yeah, it will slide up and down. It's just everything's under a bit of tension at the moment. So once it's all together, I'm sure that'll be fine, because then you'll have the top, which will help hold everything together. So I'm just going to put that all in, so it's in place, and then I'm going to carry on with everything else. Okay, I've got all our outside walls. I've got the front, which can be that way around or that way around, and we'll go on like so. We've got sides, again either way around, and then the back. Now obviously if you go for brick or the inside, really you would go for brick on the outside, so that is what I'm going to do. Now this should have dried by now, so I'm just going to take that tape off. I'm going to go ahead and stick all those bits on. It all has locating pins, that's locating on a pin on the base there. And it goes. A few seconds of pressure and that should be dry. Ah, now you see I made a mistake there, didn't I? I should have looked at where that went. That was silly. That's entirely my fault, but I should be able to just wipe that off. To be honest with you, I'm probably going to end up cutting that off anyway for mine because I'm going to want it to go under the track. It depends how the height works really, but I may end up cutting that piece off on my particular one anyway. So I won't make the same mistake on the front. I guess it would have been better actually to put the glue on this surface rather than the new piece. But. And of course you could paint the door if you wanted to. Yeah, there is a fine line there on that front. Now I'm going to be really careful here because obviously I don't want to get glue in there because that will stop that from running. So I am going to glue on this surface. I've kept the glue well away from that track because I really don't want that stuck in. That's a good point. Now which way? Look at the instructions, there's a longer pin here, look. You see that one's slightly longer? And look at the instructions, it shows that to the front. So make sure you watch that when you're doing it. You see that longer pin there? That's already becoming much stronger. So we should be able to move that door soon once the glue's all set. So the next stage on the instructions are these sort of top sections that form the perimeter of the roof area. So I've got them laid out. Now this is a front one, which is sort of your front signage. So they've done that double-sided as well. So you can have this sort of pre-arranged one, or you can have almost basically a plain one that you can clip on there and then add your own signage to it later, which is quite nice. I'm going to go for the plain one because I want to add some stuff to it later. So I'm going to stick that on there now. Yeah, that's that stuck. Now, in my particular situation, I don't think I want these on because of where I'm going to be putting it. But if you were to put them on, they literally just drop in like so. That's the way the instructions show you to do that first. I think I would be inclined though to put the roof in first, just because it will make things a bit more rigid, and that also, again, double-sided, so you can have like a sort of felt tiled type roof or sort of black tarmac. So I'm going to go for the black tarmac. It's not going to make a lot of difference on mine anyway because you're not going to see it most likely. So I'm going to drop that in, and that's got a rebate round here for it to drop into and all the way around there. So that will just drop straight in. I'm just going to add some glue. And she goes, and that will help to hold everything in place. I'm just pushing these sides in just to make sure they're tight up against it. So now that's all in. Normally what you would do is glue these on. So they would glue on either side like so. But I don't want those on there because it's going under my track and I already have to cut this off to get it to go under my track. I'm going to allow this front piece to still come forward. Now there is a reason they've done that, because you possibly wonder why they didn't just take this side up higher. And that is because if you use some of their other products, like their grandstand, it's designed to fit within this distance, so that then if you went further along with it, let's say you had 5 or 6 of these in a row, you could run a grandstand all the way along the top of it. So that's why they've done those separate, so that you can not fit them if you don't want to fit them, which is exactly what I want to do. I don't want them there, so it gives you that added benefit. I mean, I guess they probably put the one on the back there because if they were all just glue on extra, it wouldn't be as strong as what it could be. So, but with their grandstand anyway, it fits within these. That's the plan. But as I say, I'm going to remove part of that, but I'll do that off camera later. The door now does operate, but it's tight. I did have it operating earlier. There you go. It's not the sort of thing you're going to operate time and time again. It's the sort of thing you're going to position where you want it to be and probably leave it there. So that is the main bulk of it built now. What happens afterwards is there's a little sort of frame that's glued on underneath of the baseboard to give depth to allow your guide to come through. So that's the next bit that gets attached. You can see here on the instructions, it goes round on the underside there, so it's this little frame that goes under there. So I'm just going to get that on there. So that's that base frame installed. That's, as I say, that's to give depth for your guide on the front of your car to go through and not touch your track baseboard underneath. That is pretty much it done. As I say, you've got these to fit if you wanted to, which I'm not. But what I did find in the pack were, there's some doors, and they're for the back. And they're not actually mentioned on the instructions, but there's a pair of doors to go in there, and you can have them, you know, you can glue them in whatever position you want to glue them in. But there was also these strange little plastic pieces. It took me a little while to work out what they are. You've probably worked out what they are, haven't you? And a little sort of obscured piece of plastic. And what they are is to go, there's the other door, so they just create the window there. So there's a little frame there, and you put that little obscured piece inside. It's not mentioned on the instructions, but they are there, which is quite nice actually, because not a lot of kits don't have any sort of glass, so to speak. So yeah, you could just put them in however you want to put them in. You could paint these if you wanted to, same as the door, the front door. So it's like a 3D printed piece. I think the door is as well. But I'm going to do these as closed on mine, because there's not going to be anything behind it because it's underneath the track anyway. So I'm going to get them glued in, and the next thing I'll do is I'll show you it positioned on the track. Well, there we have it then, folks. Another great product from Racing Room Extras. I'm really pleased with it. It was nice and easy to build. The only slightly fiddly bit was that getting that garage door in there, the actual sliding up and over garage door. That's a little bit tricky, but you wouldn't necessarily have to fit that if you were struggling with that. Looks great on the track. I will definitely be ordering some more and getting them going all the way along that area there. And the bits I cut off on the modifications, I've actually been able to use to cover one of the support structures of the track, one of the columns that holds up that extra layer, which has worked out quite nicely. So yeah, check it out in the description below. If you like that one, the next track update video I'll be doing will be some garage equipment to go inside that pit garage. So make sure you subscribe, comment down below. That'll really help me out, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye bye.